Every one of you watching this screen, look out!
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
What did I tell you about cartoons?
They've got a lot of brains, and they've got a lot of chutzpah.
Tell me how comic books make you feel, Dave.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
We appreciate your choosing our theater. And to make this experience more enjoyable for everyone, we hope you'll refrain from talking during the show. Enjoy the movie. Thank you.
G'day, I'm Jim Bridges and I'm the President of the Australian Cartoon Museum, and we're here today to look at Paul Harvey's football caricatures work in the exhibition Head to High Tackle.
That's it.
And let's go to number one. Who's this guy, Paul?
Jamie Elliott, Collingwood, always injured. These cards were done for Select Australia, and they became the chase cards. I've been doing them for 7 years. I've been doing these illustrations for 7 years. This year, instead of doing them digitally, I painted them so we could have an exhibition at the Australian Cartoon Museum. They're watercolour. They're a little bit of mixed media, but they're predominantly watercolour, a little bit of ink, some colour pencil, basically anything I have at hand at the time. They're on, Archer's Hot Press 300 GSM paper.
Go for detail, boy.
If you want some detail.
Yeah.
And Jamie was an interesting one to draw. One of the bugbears of doing the footy caricatures is the tattoos, and
you've got to be accurate.
I make sure that the tats are right because I think the kids and I think the people want to see them as they are. But I like the colour that the tats bring, especially in a black and white Collingwood player.
Do you always draw this size?
Do I paint this size, A3?
Always?
I'm governed by the paper I use.
Okay, but you've been doing it for 7 years, and this is a card, so this is the size they are.
Yeah, I've got.
Okay, that's the size that they are.
I've got Jamie, so that's how
okay.
Jamie
So look at Jamie. Yep. Good.
And these are the hard to get ones. These are actually numbered this year, so these were the really, really hard ones to get.
Catch a falling star.
I think you had to buy about 600 packs to get one, and nothing like that. I'm joking.
A new form of addiction.
You take me very literally, Jimmy.
Oh.
Okay. And Jamie was an interesting one to do because usually we go the bubble head with the big heads, but Jamie's head, he had sort of a small childlike head on this huge big body, so that's what I wanted to push in that.
You don't always have the whole body. You don't always have the whole body.
No, I don't. It's whatever whim takes me.
Yep. Okay.
This one's Christian Petrarca. So a lot of my Melbourne mates love this one. He's just that celebratory face, was wonderful with Petrarca. I found this photo in the newspaper and I just couldn't look past it because it's just so much fun. And he's a great kid. He's apparently he flew all these guys. This young kid from Tassie over for his first game. He promised he wouldn't. Flew he and his dad over, Lucas, and I occasionally go down for a charity down that Lucas plays down in Tassie. They have a footy match, relive the rivalry. We go a lot mentioning that. You
like the hair and the gums and the teeth and the hands.
I love drawing hands.
Yes.
A lot of people don't like drawing hands. I like drawing hands. I have a lot of fun with hands.
Who taught you to draw hands? It looks like you taught yourself how to draw hands.
I did. Did
you like horror movies as a kid?
I played a lot of footy, and
show me his hand.
My fingers are a little bit. Am I allowed to say rooted? I won't say rooted. A little bit stuffed. So Jim reckons that's why I do fingers like this stuff. Roughhead, he's in the news right at the moment because he's just relinquished the captaincy. If you can see a little scar on his cheek, I like to make him as real as possible. So Ruffy had some skin cancer issues
on his
couple of years ago. Yeah,
and that's not from footy, that's from cancer.
So he's come back. I think it was on his lip actually. So he's come back from from that, and he played a fantastic couple of years as captain, and now he's going to continue on playing.
Nice fine hair, beautiful work here, and the hair, foreshortening hands, like that's really
Well, this is him celebrating again. I like the celebration ones. I like the aggression and the celebration. And Ruffy, I suppose this caricature takes that classic
big head. Yeah.
Well, because you've got such a huge jaw, and he has got a huge jaw, which is magnified by his beard.
His head's not that rough, but
Well, you take the size from the cranium, so it looks like it's like I suppose it's like clay.
But that's
all falling
like
to the bottom.
this is celebratory. That hand is celebratory. Yeah. But this is this is.
No, he's about to clap them together.
Oh, is he? Okay, all right. That's
I thought he
foreshortening
was. Let me
there.
Put my glasses on.
That's either he's got Trump hands or he's
No, he's
foreshortening.
bringing it in. You know how you clap and you bring your fingers in when you clap. The Cruise. This is Matthew Cruiser from Carlton. Head like a welcome mat.
Look at those hands. God, you obviously studied skeletons.
So he's a big, tall ruckman.
You don't
And,
overpaint your faces. You don't overpaint them.
Oh, I had to do 72, and I had to do them fairly quickly. So
okay.
there's a bit of that.
How long do they take you to do?
About 4.5 hours.
So you do 2 a day.
Sometimes.
Wow.
Sometimes. Occasionally I did 3, but so I'd sketch them in front of the telly. I usually use photos or what I see on the screen. Sometimes watching a game on a Friday night, I like to do my sketching, and then I'll pick up some idiosyncrasies and things about the player. Or sometimes, like Petrarca, I'll just be inspired by a particular photo and work from that.
Okay.
This one wasn't. She wasn't part of. That's Daisy Pearce. She wasn't part of
The series.
This series. She was in the.
Is that really what?
FFS
Is that really what her
exhibition.
hair looks like?
Yeah,
Or you're just having a go?
Oh no, she wears it. A lot of the girls wear them up like that.
Yeah. Okay.
But once again, you can get that wonderful aggression. She's just such a lovely person when you hear her speak.
Yeah.
She's a commentator as well. But when she's playing, all that goes out the window, and it's see ball, get ball.
I think one of the great things about your stuff is that you talk about the aggression. You really have the aggression in there, and people really feel that, and that's explosive, along with all the movement you've got there.
I think movement's important.
Yeah.
But once you're inspired by some of the great AFL photographers.
You're giving them credit.
I'll give him a plug. Michael Wilson, he looks after me.
Yeah, he does good work. I know him.
Beautiful work.
What's the difference between drawing
Girls and guys?
Girls and guys.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
No, it's they're playing footy. They make funny faces when they're playing footy.
God, look at the hair on that. It's beautiful. Look at it. God. It'd be a crime to have a haircut.
Nothing. It's as easy to draw the girls as the guys.
Yeah.
It's funny when I do live caricature. I'll be working a function and I'll have 20 girls sit. Say from 20 to 40. I'll have 20 women sit down before any guys sit down. They seem to be a lot more relaxed with caricature, which I suppose goes against what you're led to believe. But the ladies seem to love it and love me drawing them. And then the guys, get a few beers in and then they'll sit down. So
They float like ballet people.
well, this is Clayton Oliver. It's interesting. He's doing a hand pass pose like Daisy, and they're both Melbourne. This is very Melbourne heavy. This I heard that Clayton didn't like this, which I find amusing.
I think it's beautiful.
Oh, look, he probably thinks he's better looking than I'm portrayed him. He probably is. But I did have fun with his head.
You did.
I look forward to doing this one because I know Jack a little bit. I grew up with the Silvani, so he's...
Oh, you know his father?
Yeah. So he's... I know his granddad.
The one who never pulled his socks up.
Yeah. Anyway, Jack's a...
Sergio, wasn't it? Sergio?
Serge, yeah. Serge and Rita. Yeah. So he's a good kid. So I look forward to doing this one. He's a good-looking kid too. I haven't made him that good-looking, but once again, celebration pose.
Yeah.
When he goes. His brother's just been recruited to Carlton.
I like all the folds on the jumpers and stuff because you don't really see that on television.
I like the colours you get in the blue, the Carlton jumpers. I like pulling all the colours out that you.
But
reflected light and all those sorts of things.
On television, all the costumes tend to be tighter, and this adds to it.
Yeah. Oh well, he wears the long sleeves. When Steve started playing, he used to wear the long sleeves because he didn't have big muscles and he was trying to hide them.
All right.
Jack's pretty well-built kid, so I don't know if that's the same reason. But it's easy to mark the chest marker ball in the wet.
Is it? Well, that's the main reason.
The long sleeves on the Carlton looks terrific, I reckon. It's a good jumper, the Blues jumper.
Oh, this is great. Look at that line. Ooh.
Josh Caddy, he's a Marsden boy. So I suppose we talk about the fluidity of movement and.
His nose, his chin, everything's leading to this movement. And then it's bang over here, you know.
So the focus is on the red ball.
Yeah, and all these lines, they all focus, don't they? They all go to the movement of the red. Yeah, lovely. I'm not that familiar with football, but you seem to capture the individual movement of each person because they're not just, you know what I mean? Like people take marks and they move differently. You seem to really plug into their actual individual movements because everybody's got different characteristics, you know, and you seem to really get into that.
Well, I think caricature is much more than just the face.
Yes.
I think, and so what I try to do in these cards or these caricatures is caricature more than just the face, you know, caricature the movement and the expressions and they're not portraits or they're not caricature portraits, they're action caricatures, I suppose. So I try to get a lot of that in. And if a guy's handballs a lot, I'll tend to do him handballing.
Yeah. This is the one we filmed. This is the one we filmed you drawing.
Yes.
So you can check this film out. We made it's a little 4-minute film.
So this is Hipwood from the Lions.
Yeah.
I'm a Lions
fan, celebratory.
So I get a kick out of doing the Lions. I love the Lions colours. He's just a young kid with very spindly arms who's in the process of building himself up, but he's he's got a terrific haircut, and once again, terrific from a caricaturist point of view, and once again a great celebrator. And I wanted those the fingers.
Yeah.
They sort of accentuate his skinny, bony arms.
Yes.
So.
Well, you caricature everything.
Well.
You caricature the movement, the hair, the hands, the jaw, the teeth.
What did Spooner say? I even caricature the inside of the mouth.
Yeah, well, we'll come up to him in a minute. And more celebratory.
Petrescu Seaton, yeah, just...
Is his chin that big?
Oh, probably not. He would probably say no.
Gee, he's got a lot of teeth.
He's got a nice firm jaw, and he's a bit of a bull.
Is he?
Yeah.
And
it was fun to sort of balance the thing with this.
Yeah, it does balance it.
Rat tail that he wears.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he doesn't get that.
Because he had a rat tail.
Completely off?
Because he's got a rat tail, did that make you push his chin even further?
It sort of balances, but no, that's just how I wanted to draw him.
Yeah, and the other thing is, during the exhibition...
He does have eyes, but I didn't really paint him.
During the exhibition, people did comment. A lot of people commented on your capturing of their individual movement. They did comment on that.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's not just me.
Celebration again. That's Paddy Ryder.
And there's the tongue.
Great beard.
That's what Spooner says. He even
Aboriginal mouth guard.
Yeah, and look at the inside of the mouth. Yeah, and look at his fists. It just that's celebratory internally. He's sort of pushing it in, not pushing it out. You know. And I noticed a lot of your work. You have the eyes completely shut or partially shut.
Oh well,
you're not really into the big eyes.
No, well, that's part of the celebration, but that depends on the person as well. I mean, if they've got big eyes, I'll caricature the big eyes.
And see these because when you see them, all this is tight. All this stuff is tight, but you've got the lines on it. You make it loose, and it actually helps. It gives it more dynamic fact to it, you know. And this is great. The shoulder here, the bit sticking up there, and the fist. You know.
But when you're celebrating and smiling, you know, you do.
But there's this wonderful aggression, really wonderful aggression, and you know, you've got so many ways you can do it with the moustache and the shape and the. Oh, it's just lovely. Okay.
Grab that Robbo one. So what they did was they did some cards. So they did three different colours, but they just did. That's Mark Robinson from AFL 360. Once again, he's got squiddy eyes. So I do caricature eyes. These were done. These were a bit of fun, and they made some cards that they sold through the show.
He doesn't look like he's much of a mark. You don't catch beer and cigarettes like that. That's a chess mark.
Probably doesn't have that flashy background on these, but that was just a bit of fun because they're pretty good. They sponsor Select and often have them on the show, so they're pretty good to the boys from Select. So the Select guy said, "Would you?"
So there's 75 in the series.
72.
72.
Yeah. So I've done next year's cards already. I've painted them. What I do is we sit around and we wait. We look at the drafting period and the trading period, and we sweat on who's going to go and who I've drawn and who I have to redo, and who's going to retire,
and who's going to shave their beard off, and who's going to get a long haircut or whatever.
Oh yeah, there's a bit of that. I don't find that
new tattoos.
That is true, but I don't find the beards and those sorts of things such a big
I like
deal.
the shorthand way you do the 6 o'clock shadow. It's just a bit of blue.
Well, these were things. So that we threw in things about Robbo. You know, he loves a beer, loves his fags. He
What's that?
He breeds dogs, I think.
What sort of dog is that?
That is just a dog.
That's not a dog. That's a pretty particular dog to me.
Just a dog.
So what's his name?
Mark Robinson.
And what's the HS stand for?
That's a good. Oh, he writes for the Herald Sun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a writer for the Herald Sun.
Okay.
So he's the footy writer for the Herald Sun.
Okay. Well, Well, they're the highlights of Paul's exhibition of head high tackle. I'm really impressed with them because it's not just the head, it's not just the hair, it's just everything in it is caricatured and pushed and pulled, and I just think it's just beautiful work. And obviously people who know their football really love his stuff because they know their football, and these guys to them are heroes, and Paul's really bringing that out in a very pushy sort of way.
He's a hero to a few.
No, I'm talking about the football.
The footballers.
Yeah. I mean, there's not too many
people that want to get into the industry. You'd be a hero.
The only hero that works for the Herald Sun is Mark Knight, isn't it?
Oh, he's a hero. All right, thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, France.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
Cool.
Yeah, good on you.
Awesome.
We'll see you next year.
Great.
Thanks for the sour persimmons, cousin.